My name is Tony Griffiths, and I'm the current record holder of the speed event here at Chateau Impney. It was great fun to take part here at Chateau Impney in the 50s and 60s, and I had a series of sports cars and eventually had the BRM in which I broke the record. But it was a friendly atmosphere. It was a go-ahead club. It was a short event in distance, so therefore very competitive. Chateau Impney's speed trial was more competitive than other events because it was a very short distance, 550 yards I think it was, so you didn't have any time to make a mistake, and if you did, it was a no-go run. I think to break any record is something to be proud of, and to be honest, I was very surprised because the competitors were much more professional and better than I. So it was a real coup for me, and it was my break into hill climbing in a fairly serious way. The car I set the record in was a 2.5 litre X-Works BRM, so it was quite a machine in its day. It was actually Graham Hill's works car, and I can tell you a story about how he identified that car. It was a competitive car and had lots of power, and I was really got L plates on, but I managed to win. The car was an X-Works car belonging to Graham Hill, and when I first bought the car, I arranged to try it out at Silverstone at the club circuit, which anybody could book. And the day before the event, for my testing, they rang up and said, would I mind having the full circuit? And I never thought to ask why. Anyway, we arrived at Silverstone circuit, and the full Works BRM team were there. And to be honest, we felt like crawling away, not realizing what would be the outcome. And Graham Hill came up to me and said, my name is Graham Hill, as if I didn't know he was world champion and I was nobody, and said, oh, that's my old works car. What are you going to use it for? So I told him for hill climbing sprints, and he said, would you like me to set it up for you? So he got into his old car, which was then mine, and did 3 or 4 laps and asked his mechanics to make a number of adjustments. And I just thought this was quite extraordinary. And he did that twice and then said, that's as good as I've got the time now, and good luck. Now, no Formula One driver would even talk to a person like me, let alone come up and say, my name's Graham Hill. I think that's fantastic. My advice to anybody competing next year for what will be a new course is to walk it. It'd take a bit of time, but it'd be well worth it. And you get an idea then of the contours, and I couldn't emphasize that enough, particularly as it's a new course. I think it's good to have Chateau Impney back because it competes with Shelsley Waltz, which is the hill climb I've been involved with for a long time, and Prescott, so that you've got 3 good hill climbs, all fairly geographically close to Birmingham and the centre of population. So I think it'll encourage people to see more hill climbing and go to the other events as well. My memory of breaking the record here was really, I was fairly young, and I really broke into full-time hill climbing, which is an amateur sport, but very competitive amongst ourselves. So it was quite a feather in my cap, and I think my name became known in hill climbing circles because of that win.